Yo, what's up guys, REAPOFF here, and welcome back to another Skork video. Today guys, we're going to take a look at some of the progress I've made in Skork with the upcoming, days from recording. I always have the date in the video, so you guys can always just see, how many days have passed since the last video. That doesn't mean how many days have been done in programming, because I don't program every day, unfortunately, in Skork. I mean, it is the summer. You would expect me to open up this project every day, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be the case. I wish I was actually opening up Skork every day. I don't even have it running like I used to anymore. I just don't even open up the coding window like I used to anymore, Visual Studio. So with that being said, anyways, today we're also going to be taking a look at a comment, or a few comments really, in detail. I just picked out one from my friend Stefano. He goes by the name Big Smoke currently on YouTube, but that might change with time, as do many YouTube names like that. So I just copy and pasted it here, and let's just take a look. Let's read it. So from what I can gather, Skork is some sort of programming language which is functioned by what I can understand, algorithms. Like you said, left eye. But you have to, so left eye right here. But you have to clarify what number I represents. True, true. Question: could Skork be used by, let's say, developers who are fairly new to programming to create games or projects of their own? I know you said it could be used for creating games, but let's define what sort of games we are talking about. I mean, to be honest, if you bind the arrow keys to a specific mode, let's say binding the up arrow key to the up 4 function, couldn't you easily create games like Pac-Man? Wouldn't that make developers and programmers, basically what he's saying is, couldn't that make the Skork noticed by more developers and programmers? Or couldn't more people be noticed from the developers of these games and programmers from Skork? So that is a very good question, because this is going to put in perspective of the monstrosity of the project this is, and really it's cracking down really at the heart of what Skork is gonna do. How complex is it gonna be? What is it? What is the purpose of Skork? And so we're gonna dive straight into that, guys. That is the purpose of today's video, and also showing some things. So first, we're gonna answer the question. So let's paste it back in here. Let's just, we can just Control Z, just showing a little feature there. It's not really a feature, that's embedded in the one of the windows here, anyways, or controls. So Skork is some sort of programming language. That is correct. It is not necessarily a programming language, because you can't you can compile code, which makes a programming language. It's very hard. I think if we get into the little intricate details of what a programming language is, Skork may fail at some of those. I don't know every detail of exactly what a programming language is. I think I do know that it's more closely associated with something called a text parser, which takes text like this and converts that into some sort of instructions, which is pretty much what programming is, right? You take a .cs file, and that's a class file in C#. See .cs.C#, really, and that gets compiled down. .cpp for C++, .h for a header file. All of these get compiled down. .vb for Visual Basic. We got .java for Java, and then they get compiled to .class, I believe. It's just lots of great stuff here. So really, Skork is technically, could be a programming language, but let's more call it a text parser right now. I think that better represents what it does. And it is functioned absolutely by algorithms. It wouldn't work if it wasn't functioned by algorithms. It has to be functioned by something in the background. That would be algorithms. That's absolutely right. Now this is a good question here. Could Skork be used by developers to create games? And what kind of games can it make? Well, something like Pac-Man, where we need a keyboard input, like the arrow keys or WASD, whatever you want. Keyboard input right now, I'm thinking, is not going to be a thing in Skork. Reason for that is, lots of programming languages, you get keyboard input from people. You get input from the user, you take that input, you manipulate it, and then you output data. That is basically the fundamental premise of programming. You really want to take user data, you want to manipulate it, process it, and then spit out some information, spit out the processed data in a readable way, in an informed way, in a awesome way, let's say. But the thing is, we're not, Skork doesn't seem to have that first part of putting in user information. So the thing about Skork is, you're programming everything on the spot. So this is creating a sprite, this is moving it left one unit, this is creating a loop, let's say this is 1 to y, and then we have to define y. So I mean, if you want to say let's have user input, I mean, I don't see where the user input fits right now in my current structure of the program. It's very weird. I mean, I guess you can be like, you know, you have something print like print, and be like please enter a number, and then you know, someone enters like 5, and then if it's like an odd number, you know, then, you know, move to the left, and if it's an even number, move to the right, kind of thing. That's true, you could do that, but I don't know if I am doing that as of now, because right now Skork is designed to just you just program something on the fly, and then you get the visual on the right away. So that's kind of how Skork is being developed right now. So let's walk in some pseudocode that I did. So I made this pseudocode, I think on stream, I'm not sure. But this is the first pseudocode, and I have some comments here, some Java or C comments right here. No, the style right here, the // or in C# actually, same way. I think it's C# the same way, is it? I don't think I use comments in C. I don't use comments like this. I don't do this ever. I just use what do you call it? I use the comment block, and I just put that. Oh, I guess I'm wrong. I guess this is a really early. This is one of my first functions, guys. No, I do not take that. I don't count that. All right. Anyways, let's go back and open up Skork, and let's see this pseudocode in action. All right. All right. So we have. I think we just had sprite s. I mean, let me just redo that. Okay. So sprite s, create sprite s, move to the left, move to the right, then loop 1 through 10, loop 9 times, really, what that's doing. If s.x, the x location of the sprite, if that's greater than the grid x, so if you count the number of black dots on the x-axis, and then you divide by 2, if that's less than the x coordinate on the s of s, then move up, else move left. And I mean, I think for some reason when I developed this, I thought this would terminate, you know, if this was like loop true, but I mean, it's looping 9 times, it's going to terminate anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Then we have a second loop. This is just creating one with a variable inside, 1 to x, so x is 20, and then s.left is 2, create animation 19 times, s.up 4, and then s.down, s.right, and then we do all of that great stuff. So it should be like an animation happening 19 times, and then you print out what s is at the end. That's it. That's an example of code that should be able to run in Skork. And yeah, that's about it, guys. So yeah, to really get in detail of what that question is asking, I mean, it's not going to be that complicated. Skork is just going to be this fun little project. You know, if you're a mathematician out there, you probably can get a visual. If you know, you can probably do a visual. You can code a visual for, you know, a function. You write a function and you can spit out a visual representation of that on the right side right here. That's really that was the initial point. It's like kind of for mathsy people. It's a really it's another niche program. I think it might turn out. When you make things that are not niche programs, they turn out to be very complicated. It seems, because appealing to a broader audience requires a lot more than you guys might think. I know it might be more simple, like the interface and everything, but simplicity is the hardest thing in programming. And believe me when I say that, just take my word for it. Simplicity is the hardest thing in programming. With that being said, we're going to move on to just showing some of the new classes I created in Skork. And so we have Skork exception. Here's an exception class that's just extends exception. And, you know, we have a... we construct the Skork exception object with a message. And then its toString method returns the exception. And that's it. That's really it. It's very simple stuff. We just have this basic Skork exception class. It doesn't. I mean, this is going to be the parent class for other exceptions. That will have like certain things, I guess. Skork code. I've been trying to do some things with. Actually, that's what we're going to look at now. So I'll show you some progress. I have a little bit of text parsing right now in Skork. I'm going to do Skork S, which is the same thing as sprite, remember, if we remember. Skork S, sprite S. Well, it both creates sprites as of right now. And then we'll do s.left. You know, s.right. And we'll put like 3 in there. And then hello, just like that, like nothing. We'll put some lines. We'll put a space here, yo. Like that. And then like that. Okay. And then get lines. Hello, Mr. Streamer. Sprite S skips this line because that's not a valid code line. Goes to the next code line, which is s.left, s.right. Hello is technically a code line. And then yo is a space yo, right? So something like this, unfortunately, gets compiled right now. We don't want that. Like a space, that's the same. That should be treated the same thing as this. So if I right click, it should just be hello, Mr. Streamer, and then nothing after. Because this is not code. It's just new line characters. Alright, guys, so that is about it. So, I definitely have a function reading line by line, which is good. That's going to help us compile Skork code, which is going to be great. Oh, man, I'm a bit tired, guys. I've been going fishing these past few days at really early times. I've not been putting on social media all the times, but this one time I went, which was yesterday actually, not catching too much, unfortunately. We're not catching a lot of fish. It's disappointing, but you know, it's a sport. You know, we're in it for the I'm at least in it for the fun, not just, you know, as a delicious meal. But I'm also in for the sport. It's a lot of fun and to hang out with friends, and it's great. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you had a great time watching. And if you have any questions like Stefano did, guys, please leave a question in the comments or any feedback of any sort. You may receive your own video because it's fun to do, I promise. Peace out now.